Hello folks and welcome back to Eerie Storytime. Today we have another tale from Greek mythology. Defying a king, honoring the dead, and paying the ultimate price. The Tragedy of Antigone is a tale of rebellion, loyalty, and fate. How far would you go to stand by your beliefs even when the gods themselves seem against you? Let's dive into this classic tale. The Tragedy of Antigone. It's a story woven into the fabric of Western literature. It speaks of unwavering loyalty, the clash between divine law and human decree, and the devastating consequences of pride. Antigone, the daughter of King Oedipus of Thebes, becomes a beacon of resistance against injustice. She embodies the very essence of moral courage. Antigone's story is a tragedy in the truest sense. It's a tale of impossible choices and devastating outcomes. Her brothers Eteocles and Polynices lie dead after a bitter war for the throne of Thebes. Her father, the king Oedipus, is dead. Ascended to the throne is Creon, the new king of Thebes. Eteocles, the defender of Thebes, is granted a hero's burial by the new king, Creon. Polynices, labeled a traitor, is denied burial rites. His body is left to rot outside the city walls. This decree by the newly ascended King Creon sets the stage for Antigone's defiance. She cannot bear to see her brother denied his rightful place in the afterlife. She believes in a higher law, a divine obligation to bury the dead. This belief compels her to act, even if it means defying the king's command. Antigone's unwavering commitment to her beliefs forms the crux of the tale. Her story is a timeless reminder that some principles are worth fighting for, even at the greatest personal cost. Antigone finds herself torn between two powerful forces, her loyalty to her family and her duty to obey the law. Creon's decree is clear. No one is to bury Polynices, the traitor. To do so would be an act of treason against Thebes, an act that would be punishable by death. Nevertheless, Antigone cannot abandon her brother. She believes that the laws of the gods supersede the laws of man. Burying the dead is a sacred duty, an act of love and respect that transcends earthly decrees. This conflict between divine law and human law creates a moral dilemma for Antigone. She knows that defying Creon will have severe consequences. Yet, she cannot, in good conscience, obey a law she believes to be unjust. Antigone chooses to honor her conscience and her brother. She performs burial rites for Polynices, knowing full well the price she may have to pay. Her decision is a testament to her unwavering moral compass. It highlights the importance of following one's conscience, even in the face of danger. Creon, the newly crowned king of Thebes, is a man of unyielding principle and unwavering authority. He is determined to restore order to a city ravaged by war. His decree regarding Polynices is, in his eyes, essential to maintaining that order. Creon views any act of disobedience, even one motivated by familial love, as a threat to his authority. He refuses to make an exception for Antigone, fearing it would weaken his position and invite chaos. However, Creon's unwavering stance is not merely about upholding the law, it's also about his pride. He cannot bear to be defied, especially not by a woman, and especially not by his niece. This pride blinds him to the potential consequences of his actions. Creon's stubborn adherence to his decree ultimately leads to his downfall. His refusal to show mercy sets in motion a chain of events that will have tragic consequences for his own family. He becomes a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and the destructive nature of pride. Creon gives the order and has Antigone buried alive in a tomb where she perishes. Antigone hung herself within her tomb. The tragedy of Antigone is not confined to her defiance and punishment. It extends outward, engulfing those around her, particularly Creon's own family. Haemon, Creon's son, is betrothed to Antigone. He loves her dearly and pleads with his father to show mercy. Haemon, caught between his love for Antigone and his loyalty to his father, tries to reason with Creon. He argues that the people of Thebes sympathize with Antigone and that punishing her so harshly will be seen as unjust. But Creon, blinded by his pride, refuses to listen. Driven to despair by his father's intransigence and upon learning Antigone's fate, Haemon takes his own life. Eurydice, Creon's wife, upon hearing of her son's suicide, is overcome with grief and also takes her own life. Creon, once a powerful king, is left utterly alone, stripped of his family and his kingdom, forced to confront the devastating consequences of his actions. The deaths of Haemon and Eurydice highlight the indiscriminate nature of tragedy. It doesn't discriminate between the innocent and the guilty, it leaves a trail of devastation in its wake. When the last domino has fallen, Antigone's death ultimately caused the downfall of her rival, the House of Creon. The Tragedy of Antigone is the work of Sophocles, one of the three great tragedians of ancient Greece. It was first performed around 441 BC, during a time of great political and social change in Athens. The play is part of a trilogy that includes Oedipus Rex and Oedipus at Colonus. However, it was likely the first of the three to be written. Sophocles was a master storyteller. He used his plays to explore complex themes of fate, free will, and the human condition. Antigone, though written centuries ago, continues to resonate with audiences today because of its timeless themes. The play's exploration of justice, duty, and the abuse of power remains as relevant as ever. Imagine yourself in ancient Athens. You're seated in an enormous amphitheater carved into the hillside, the sun beating down on you. Thousands of others are around you, buzzing with anticipation. The air crackles with excitement and expectation. This was the scene as the original audience awaited the performance of Antigone. The play was more than just entertainment. It was a civic event, a forum for exploring the big questions that faced Athenian society. Antigone's defiance of Creon would have resonated deeply with this audience. Athens was a democracy. Its citizens took pride in their right to participate in government. Antigone's courage to stand up for what she believed in, even against a powerful ruler, would have been both thrilling and challenging. The play's tragic ending would have left a profound impact. It served as a cautionary tale about the dangers of tyranny and the importance of upholding justice. Antigone's story stayed with them long after they left the theater, prompting reflection and debate about the very nature of power, justice, and individual responsibility. The Tragedy of Antigone is a story that has transcended time and place. It continues to be reinterpreted and reimagined in countless ways. From stage productions to films, operas, and novels, Antigone's story continues to captivate and inspire. Modern adaptations often use the play to explore contemporary social and political issues. For example, Antigone has been used as a lens to examine civil disobedience, the role of women in society, and the conflict between individual conscience and state power. The play's themes of resistance, moral courage, and the clash between individual and state continue to resonate with audiences today. Antigone's story reminds us that there are times when we must stand up for what we believe in, even when it is difficult, even when it is dangerous. The enduring legacy of Antigone lies in its ability to spark dialogue and debate. It challenges us to examine our own values and to consider what we would be willing to fight for. In a world often defined by complexity and moral ambiguity, Antigone's story offers a timeless message of courage, conviction, and the importance of staying true to oneself. And that was the tale of the Tragedy of Antigone from Greek mythology. Isn't it interesting that the new King Creon was so determined to preserve his rule, yet his actions resulted in the loss of his entire house? Thank you for joining me today on another delve into Greek mythology. We hope you enjoyed today's story. If you did, please like and subscribe. Doing so really helps the channel. Until next time.